I'm taking you on a drive with me through rural India today. We are going to go through some busy village roads in Goa and also through a small town. So I'm going to record it live. So you'll really feel that you are sitting next to me in this car. Let me show you how. I'll take this phone and I'll put it right here. So it will face me. And then I'll take the GoPro and I'm putting the GoPro right here. So you'll really feel you are with me in the car. I can't wait to show you my daily commute, guys. Let's go. All right, guys. Welcome to my car, and I'm taking you along today on a ride. Imagine to the back seat. Actually, you don't have to be, all of you in the front seat. I'll try to be very careful. I have to be very honest. I'm not like the best and stellar driver myself. I'm still learning. It's been a year that I've actually been on the road in India. And just before you ask, I do have driving license. I have Indian driving license. I have German driving license. I have Russian driving license. I drove in all those countries and many others. And each country actually has the rules of its own. Like there are certain styles of driving that you get used to. But India is a special case in a way because there are other rules. There is like a parallel set of rules which is not exactly what I'm used to following, and that was exactly the reason of the fear. I was really scared to drive initially. A lot of foreigners actually who come, they're very scared because they don't understand. It really looks like a beautiful cows from outside. Like there are other rules that are governing the traffic and the movement of everyone and everything. And then there are cars and there are scooters and there are people and there are also animals on the road, especially in the area where I'm staying, because I'm not staying in a city. I'm staying in a rural area. Yes, I'll sometimes have interruptions, guys, because I'm still giving the biggest attention to the road. That's why I'm not looking into the camera, but now there is a tiny traffic jam because of the buses, and it really depends on where you drive, what you experience. Again, I'm in the rural area and the roads are very small here. It's also the way that it was designed. There are practically no traffic lights here, and you will often see traffic police trying to help during the peak hours. And as you see, the roads are not actually designed for big vehicles necessarily, so it does cause traffic jams, but again, it's not the case in all over India. Of course, if you drive like in Mumbai or in Bangalore, it will be like the entirely different story. And as I'm driving, I'll be sharing with you what I've learned and what are the lessons of driving in India. And perhaps if you have to drive here and you're used to something else, maybe it will be helpful for you, maybe not. In the end of the day, it's always about the practice, wherever you go. Oh, hello, beautiful cow. Oh, it's a bull. In the cities, it's not the common sight, but it's a very common sight in rural areas for sure. The cows and the bulls, they roam freely, and if you ask, no, they're not homeless. They actually have the owners, but it just used to be their habitat, and now they get to walk around. Turns, the most tricky part, because people can come into your lane, and then there are people without a vehicle who will start crossing suddenly. Practically, you have to be very alert. I mean, this is wrong to say. You have to be always alert when you're driving. But here it's a special case because there is a smaller space for the bigger amount of moving objects, I would say. In this part where I stay, there are no pavements. That's why you do see people. There are no crossings, so they will also cross. Sometimes it's not always necessarily logical how people decide to cross. We are now heading into the small town. This is the closest town to where I stay. I think it has like 45,000 people living there or something around that, so it's small, it's tiny. How crowded it is, it actually depends on the time of the day. Now I'm nearing the end of the school time, but hopefully it will not be so bad. Alertness and flexibility. These are two words I would say as your mantra for driving here. You have to be really alert to make sure that nobody jumps from any side in front of you, like this car, for example. And you need to be very flexible, because a lot of things here are actually solved by the eye contact. Ooh, somebody's in a hurry behind me. The next rule: people beep to warn, not to punish or scare. In some places, it's considered to be quite rude to beep. In some Indian cities, it's really loud. You can hear the beeping non-stop. As you see, it's not actually the case here where I stay. People don't really beep. But sometimes it's necessary. Like sometimes you see people, for example, walking on the road and then you beep to warn. And sometimes you have a very tiny, narrow turn and you also can beep to warn that you're coming. And people don't get upset about it because it does actually help to avoid uncomfortable and even dangerous situations. Now that I have like good experience driving in India already, I want to tell you something very unexpected. I actually feel that it's easier to drive here than to drive, for instance, in Moscow or even to drive in Germany. And the reason for it is speed. On the German highway, you can easily go, beyond 200, or there are people who will be going at that speed on the highway, for instance. And in Moscow, even inside the city, the roads are really big, and people go at high speed. And this is what makes it really scary, because if something happens, there is no good outcome to that accident. Oops, somebody just went from my lane, you saw, right? This is what I meant, that when people turn, they switch lanes. Anyways, I was talking about flexibility, but it's also something that expected mutually on the road from everyone. But it also gives you a bit of confidence. So I beeped because these guys did not exactly see that I was coming. This is the whole trouble. When they come out, they don't always look. And that's just something to know. This is how it works. You have to give them the warning and you have to watch carefully. Okay, let's see what lessons we can learn here in the town traffic. I cannot exactly call it the city traffic. I'm very curious to see my own footage when this video is done, but I can already anticipate. I feel it, that my head is moving left and right quite a lot, and this is what I meant by 360 degrees view. At the same time, the most important direction to look at is front, and this is also kind of an unspoken rule. Everyone is responsible for what's in front of them. Sounds logical, yeah, but practically you need to know that people, when they're driving, they may not look right and left, and they may not be using the mirrors. This is my favorite thing though. Like when I was learning to drive, I was first of all trained to look in the mirrors. Okay, friends, I'm sorry, I absolutely have to wear my sunglasses. So when you see congested traffic like this, it may look really stressful from outside, and it definitely looked for me. But here, there is actually just one rule. Move slowly, and be watchful, and be mindful, and be respectful, and be kind. I experienced a lot of aggression on the road everywhere, in every country. There are people who are impatient, who are in a hurry, who believe that their car is bigger. And this really seems to be a human nature. It doesn't really have a nationality. But there is one thing that really becomes apparent when you drive in India. And I wish that everybody would exercise this rule and would follow this principle. And this principle sounds, be kind. I can remove my glasses now. So when you're kind to others on the road, you'll actually let people go. And maybe you'll smile instead of grinding your teeth. And when you smile, then somebody may let you go also. And slow down when they can slow down. And it's not just about avoiding the accidents, it's also about making it a less stressful experience. It is stressful to drive. Ooh, 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 the first traffic light on our road. I'm very happy that we passed it, guys, so that you can see this, how it actually looks. So what you are seeing now is a busy rural road, but I still feel there is so much greenery. I love driving in rural India, and we go on road trips a lot. And if you want, I can also show you some footage of us actually driving on other roads, like outside of this state, and going on road trips, going on highways. What you are seeing right now is without any filters, how people actually drive daily. Maybe it's a video even for my mom, who kept asking, how are you driving in India? What? Oh. This is what really trains your attention and reaction. The bike drivers, the scooter drivers, when they turn. They're like bees, you know, who are flying around, and it sometimes feels like a bit of a chaotic movement, but there is definitely some logic and trajectory that they're following. It's just not what you necessarily expect. Let's see if we can enter the highway. It's a national highway, but it's rather small. For example, in the neighboring state of Maharashtra, where we go quite often for road trips or even short getaways, there are a lot of infrastructure projects running right now, also between Mumbai and Goa, for example, building big highways, like the type of highways I'm used to in Russia, for example. And of course, it would be a different story to drive on them. But where I'm going right now, it's not representative of the whole country, okay? This is what I want to say. The exits to the highways is also not exactly how I'm used to them. I mean, I really had to understand the designs of the road. It's different. It is really different. And yay, we're heading towards the highway. Time for the sunglasses again. I think that this road I'm going on is called service road, and this is my biggest confusion, especially in this part, because I'm not so experienced with the highway here and with the route that I'm taking right now, you're on. So I'm always a little bit confused where is the correct exit. I was supposed to join the highway long ago. Oh, here you go! Hooray! I think it's a good time to take the exit, because what I really want to do, I want to take you to a very famous road. How do you join the traffic here is always a very, very big question. If the traffic is not too bad, I'm going to take you to one of the most famous places in North Goa, which is a coconut Parra road. Everyone who is watching me from India will definitely know why it's so famous. Usually it does have a crazy amount of people taking pictures in it. Locals were really disturbed. Imagine you cannot get anywhere any day because it's just full of people staying in the middle of the road and not giving way. People need to go to work, locals need to go to school, but this is generally applied of people living in highly touristic areas, and it's a big challenge. And if you want, I can even do a separate video about it, about what actually Goans themselves, what kind of change they observed in the last 20 years and what they have to go through daily. And this is the flip side of the tourism. I'm really curious how many people a day stop here. And it's incredible. Each time that I drive here, I really feel and think about the incredible power of the cinema and the entertainment industry that it has. This road just was featured in the movie, and I'll tell you a big secret. There are a lot of roads like this in Goa. It's really not the only one, and you can get them even a better view sometimes. Not less magical for sure. But this road gets all the attention and all the problem. Should I beep? Let's scare them. This road is actually truly magical, and when I came to Goa first 10 years ago, it was just before the movie, much before the movie was released, it was empty, and it was incredible. The little chapel that you can see, the endless coconut groves, no people, that was wonderful. I am staying in a very tourist area, so sometimes the peak hours have nothing to do with, for example, office hours like in big cities. Instead, it has to do with long weekends, for instance. When there is long weekend, there are like 20 times more people in my area than normally. The road is over, but I still need to drive back, my friends. Speed bumps. That's it, you always learn in your area. Eventually you do learn all the speed bumps, and it becomes a half part of yourself, you know, it becomes your instinct to slow down. Whew. That was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the drive, and let me know if you want to see some more of this vlog style videos, and also if you'd like me to show you some other driving in other parts of India, perhaps on bigger highways and in other states. Otherwise, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.